I love the Bruins.
The Bruins were the last team to start wearing helmets. Don Cherry started paying the players not to wear helmets.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they were that brutal.
Oh, yeah, it was a good old time hockey, you know.
But since we're talking hockey, all right?
Yeah.
Tell us the story at the border. What happened at the border? You had a interesting meeting with the FSB, the old KGB, right?
Right.
Our dear friends from Mother Russia.
Yeah.
And of course, they were doing their great job, professional job in security, right?
Right.
And they spotted you, of course, and took you in, right?
Right.
How long was the this friendly meeting with the
It was friendly, and it was maybe 25 minutes.
Why so? 25 minutes? Why so short? What happened? Tell us.
Well, you know, basically he started asking, you know, why are you here? And I said, well, I'm, you know, coming to see my son and my grandson, who I've never seen, and I haven't seen my son. And
Patrick?
Yeah,
Patrick
Lancaster, and I've never met his wife. And I just want to spend some time with my family.
Great. And
well, he asked, one thing he asked about was support. Well, the hockey story is what I think. He said, this guy's all right. He says, do you like hockey? I said, I love hockey. I said, in St. Louis, where I'm from, you know, we've got a great team, St. Louis Blues. And he leans back in his chair and he says, who is the Russian player on the St. Louis Blues? And I said, Vladimir Tarasenko. He's our team captain and best player. And he's just like, you know, this guy's okay.
let him go.
Let him go.
Yeah.
Welcome aboard.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. How was your travel from America till here?
Long.
Yeah.
But total from St. Louis, about 6,000 miles in the air. When I got
How many hours is that? About total?
From Moscow, 2 hours from St. Louis to New York, 9.5 hours from New York to Moscow, and then 2 hours to Rostov. That's the flight I took.
And how did you, from Rostov, how did you get here?
Some of Patrick's media friends
Drove in?
Drove in. But the interesting thing is, in New York, there was gridlock on the planes. You know, I sat at the gate for 2 hours.
Wow, painful.
And, yes, it was. But that caused me to be late getting into Moscow. So I missed my Rostov flight. And I don't have any communication to Patrick to tell him. You know, I couldn't get on the internet. And so the people were waiting for me, and when that plane came and I didn't get off, they're like, what's going on? But they had put me on the next flight, but that was 4 hours later. And they were still there, thank God. And,
Hopefully.
you know, but they're for like 4 hours they're going, what's going on? Patrick thought maybe the police had got me and were...
How did it feel, Mr. Lancaster, when you finally crossed that border from Mother Russia into Donetsk Republic? Was there any, did you feel anything?
Well, Patrick, his wife, and the baby, Timur, were there.
Wonderful.
You know, it was beautiful. One of the most beautiful times of my life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
What's your first impression of Donetsk?
Well, you know, if I compare it to where I come from, it's much nicer. There's a lot of crime in St. Louis and in the United States, and racial issues, and it's really tense there. And I don't feel that here. I don't feel any tenseness at all.
Exactly.
Everybody seems cool.
Even if you are in a war zone, which is weird somehow.
This is incredible. War zone, and yet I feel so much more freedom.
Yes.
You know, there's some kind of liberation from the soul.
Right.
There's some kind of, it's just a beautiful feeling. It's incredible.
Well, you know,
And the leadership here are just doing an amazing job of the country still functioning like a real country, yet not recognized.
That does surprise me. You know, you walk around and everybody's walking around like nothing's
The police
going
are
on.
doing their thing, the fire department, the schools, the hospital, everybody's doing their thing, and we're not recognized. And that's the most beautiful thing about this country.
The streets are cleaned every day.
Yeah, they're very... I was sitting on a bench. We were eating some Russian thing we bought at a Russian delicatessen, what we call it. and apparently my napkin blew off. You're talking about clean. And I'm just sitting there. I didn't know it had blown off. And I heard this, machino, machino, machino. And I I don't know what's going on. And finally I turned around and she pointed to the napkins. And I didn't know Patrick says machino is man. And so she get that up, I said, I'm sorry. She said, sorry, what the is that? And so, yeah, it's very clean.
Yeah.
And I mean, this food is spicy. The food I've been eating. And, but it's good. Everything I'm eating's been good.
They have already visited the supermarkets here?
I just follow him around. I have. Yesterday was the first day I actually took money in and bought something at a store by myself.
And so you have seen that we have almost nothing. Yes, like the Ukraine propaganda is saying that our shelves are empty and that we have nothing to eat.
That's what they're saying. But you see that everything is full.
I have as much to eat as I can't. I said, no more to eat. Let me cook. Nadia, Patrick's wife, is always, eat, you must eat. I said, I'm fat already. Come on.
Yep.
So you're not lacking of food, not lacking of anything here.
No. But I think the biggest thing is for me is I'm retired from the United States and I don't make a lot of money, so I have to ride the city buses and live in places where it's not wealthy and a lot of poverty around there, and a lot of crime, and a lot of nastiness.
St. Louis changed, huh?
And in the suburbs where the wealthy people live, they don't even know what's happening. They see it on the news, they don't care.
Wow.
Because it's not part of their life. When you don't have a whole lot of money, you live in it. It just, so I kind of made a joke, because it's not funny, but it's ironic, let's put it this way. Patrick says 4 people died here last week in the war. I said, well, 7 people were murdered last night in St. Louis, I said, I got to come to a war zone to feel safe.
How about that, right?
I mean, it's ironic.
Yeah, somehow.
But I do feel safe here, and there's no negativity that I can see. Maybe that's because I don't understand it Russian.
Well, that's
not yet. It will come. It will come.
That's the ideology. That's what the whole Russian mentality is. Even when it's tough, even when it's rough for the people or the times, they'll still make sure that you won't see it. That life goes on, right? And it's just a beautiful thing, and it's thanks to the leadership here and the people around.
And the mentality of people also, it's doing a lot,
And then, you know what? We're not going to run away. Now you just made me more angry. Now I'm just going to just keep going to work and this and that, and you're not stopping me. And it gets us more angry, but more happier and more proud.
I'll tell you an interesting part of my first night. Patrick took me to Legenda, with the media
cafe restaurant,
and Basurin was there.
Basurin,
Basurin, and I got to meet him.
Wow!
And
how was that?
It was just awesome.
I saw the photo. Your eyes were wide open. Because you've seen him before.
Actually, at one point we were Facebook friends.
Yeah. But when you saw him in person,
I think he knew I was Patrick's father, and I friend requested him.
So when you saw him in person, it was...
He's great, he's
a great
what a presence. That's the first thing you see.
He's got that John Wayne thing. Right?
Yeah, I'm serious. You come in and you can just feel it.
Sure.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And he was very nice and polite and pleasant. In fact, everybody has been. The media people that Patrick works with have just gone out of their way to be nice to me,
and I feel comfortable.
I feel so welcome here. It's just, so yeah.
What did you think first when Patrick decided to come here to cover the war, to cover the conflict? What did you think? Did you think, okay, it's great, or okay, it's completely crazy?
Crazy. But I know my son, and he is firm in his convictions. And I also know that raising a son, you should let them follow their dreams. But the first year, I was scared for his life.
Really worried, right?
Yeah, and after that, I said, you know, this is his job, and he loves it, and he's found a wife, and they're having a baby, and you know, at that point, my fear went away, because we all live and die, and you know, I am not scared anymore. I'm proud of him. So anyway,
if I can ask also, there was an incident. There was some trouble back home with the domestic asking questions, where it's Pat and stuff like that from
FBI.
Yeah.
Well, they asked me about that at the board.
They did. Oh, they did?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, they asked me, has anybody threatened you or Patrick? You know, I had a translator there, and it was kind of, they pulled out a word that said threatened. So I said, well, the FBI came to his mother's house and interviewed her, and he said, what did they ask her? I said, they asked, you know, what's he doing over there, this and that, and he said, what did she say? I said, the truth. I said, you know, we believe in what he's doing there, we're very proud of him, and you know, there's nothing bad to say about what's going on. And I said, and I feel that way too. So,
what did they say, the FBI?
oh, they just asked questions. I don't know what they said to her, but they asked the questions, and they probably didn't get the answer they were looking for.
Right. Or didn't like the answer.
Yeah, you know,
didn't like the answer, yeah, perhaps.
you know, but they got the truth.
Sure.
And
No more provocations or to mom or anything?
No, no.
It was okay after
yeah.
that?
And at the beginning of this war, which insight you had of this conflict? Did you had like the Western vision of this conflict, or did you already understood that the Ukrainian side is doing war against its own population?
Who were you believing more, the Western side or?
Well, before Patrick came,
Yeah.
I didn't know anything about it, really. And Patrick, when Patrick first came to Crimea, was when it all started.
Right.
So that was the first time what's going on over here came on my radar, is when he got here. And I started following it, and you know, I say a story because I know one of the things that bugs me about what the Ukrainian government was trying to do was to stop the teaching of Russian here and this and that. And you know, my thing is like, what if like in the United States, it's like them saying no more Spanish here.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's almost cultural genocide because you're not celebrating the holidays and stuff. So, you know, and I've been listening to Pat and seeing, you know, I got a lot of his friends are my friends.
And we also have alternative media, Russian television, which is great in America, right? I'm sure you watch those programs from Russian TV.
Yeah.
RT.
I watched a lot of RT.
Fantastic.
Videos. Yeah, it's really interesting. Well, you know, but the biggest problem for me is how the Western media, you never hear about this over there, you know. And if people knew, because I met a guy whose unit, I think he was National Guard, was in Ukraine. And if people knew we had boots on the ground in Ukraine, and I know Trump just okayed a shipment of weapons, lethal weapons, and he didn't want it public. He didn't want to do it at first, but that he caved in, and then he didn't want it publicized. But you know, so we don't know what's going on. If they knew what was going on in America, but it's not just America, all Western media, you know, it's very frustrating. And I've known for some time the truth from listening to Patrick and RT and things like that.
What would you like to say to Western people and Americans who will watch this video, who perhaps for some of them don't know about the Donbas conflict and so on?
Well, I would suggest they watch Patrick's
Work.
work.
Great work.
Yes, and subscribe to his
YouTube channel.
Yes, and but I couldn't say read about it because everything that's written about it, I know a lot of it is lies. You know, you look up Donetsk on Wikipedia, it's not it is not true, and it's completely biased. So you can't tell the people back there study on it because there's no material. You know, there's nothing to look at.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.